Joining us now with further insights into the refugee situation unfolding here in Israel is legal advisor to the Israeli Movement for Governability and Democracy, or Meshilut, attorney Simcha Rothman. Thank you so much for coming in.
Hi, good day.
So my first question, is Netanyahu, by trying to circumvent the courts, is he eroding away at the democracy in Israel, at the Supreme Court?
I think you should say the other way. The Supreme Court of Israel constantly, for the last 10 years, blocked every democratic action the state of Israel tried to do against these illegal infiltrators. You said refugees before, but canceled a law that the Knesset passed. Many Knesset passed for 3 times. The Supreme Court canceled it.
You're talking about the deportations.
Yeah. Not the deportation. The deportation is only the last stage. We're talking for 10 years that the different initiatives and legislation that the Supreme Court canceled in a very undemocratic way. Just to remind that the Supreme Court of Israel does not have any base in Israeli basic laws to cancel Knesset laws, and he did so time and again. So if Netanyahu does anything, it's to return Israel to become a democracy.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but to my understanding, Israel back in 1951, signed on with the UN HRC and discussed. And discussed what is a refugee and how do we treat them. And they signed that document in 1951. So the High Court is interpreting those laws when they're shooting down Knesset laws.
No, because most of the people that we're talking about never asked to be recognized as refugees and never were recognized.
There are many reports that their applications just weren't processed.
No. I'm talking about how many applications. I'm not talking that Israel does not have any border with any country which from those people came from. So to define them as refugees is very dubious if you want to talk about the legal aspect. But I'm not saying personal. Any one refugee or asylum seeker or illegal infiltrators that asks to be recognized as a refugee and his request is being denied, that's the role of the Supreme Court. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you do with the people that were rejected or the people that are not refugees, that came here to work. That's the majority of those people. And on those people, the Supreme Court prevents the Knesset from doing anything, prevents the government from doing anything for the last 10 years.
All right, well, the previous deal that the Knesset was just shot down, which this deal is basically a reformatting of that old deal, is basically to force these deportations on people and then send them to these countries without a proper knowledge of what happens to them afterwards. And that's kind of where the court has drawn a line.
The court said and ruled. Even the Supreme Court of Israel.
But the safety of these refugees once they land in that country is Israel's responsibility.
It's not, but also
to make sure that they're safe when they land there.
It's not Israel's responsibility, but although it's not Israel's responsibility, Israel said and declared to the Supreme Court, and it was checked by the Attorney General, by all means, that their safety of the people there won't be a problem. And the Supreme Court approved this. The Supreme Court approved to send them to these countries. What happened that after this delay and another delay and the second delay and the third delay gave a lot of time to diplomatic pressure to cancel the agreement. The Supreme Court approved. And nothing changed with that. The Supreme Court approved to send them to these 2 countries because their safety was taken care of.
Well, unfortunately, we ran out of time. But I will say that the latest reports that came out even just today was that Rwanda and Uganda, the 2 countries being named, deny having.
But also Germany and Italy, that the UN said that they will take it.
But just like Rwanda and Uganda, Netanyahu named Germany, not Germany.
I think we need to take from this one thing. Diplomacy is not for the Supreme Court to handle. Let's let diplomats deal with diplomacy. I think that's what we should take from this.
All right, Simcha Rothman, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.